All right. So, I know in my last video I said I was done playing this game for the time being, Halcyon 6, but I actually got a very kind and generous email from Massive Damage Games in response to the frustration I was having in my last game where I lost my save game progress. Anyway, so I was just basically making the argument that when I quit the game, I just was assuming it was going to save for me, and you know, obviously if you come from a different mentality where like you always are used to saving your games, then it's probably not something that's ever gonna kind of bite you the way it did me. And for me, it was just the assumption that if I quit a game, and the assumption was built on the fact that there's a continue key here, and I'm just used to a lot of games doing the quit on save or save on quit and then continue to resume from there, kind of like just the auto quick save, and it just saves you clicking around and like I said, fussing with save games, which it's easy for a developer, and that's what I want to say, it's easy for a developer to take the tack that, well, that's your own damn fault and it's not our fault, and it's easy to be defensive about that, and it's easy to be defensive when it's something you care about a lot. And I know because I've been in that position myself as a programmer, doing especially UI programming, and getting comments back from people. I'm like, what's wrong with you? You're just dumb. But you can't take that tack because they're the customer, and you can't just tell the customer they're dumb, because especially when there's any number of other people they can go and hire. It's not a fatal flaw or anything, and I regret the choice of words I used, saying, unbalanced. I made an annotation to try to address that too. The game isn't, or not unbalanced, what is unstable? The game's not unstable in the meaning that I think that word typically has. This game does not have any terrible bugs. I do think there was that one instance where the message zoomed to an in-station message instantly, which was disconcerting, and then there were a few messages I missed. Like, I missed the one about the Yabbling fleet for sure. I don't know. That one we can blame on attentiveness on my part. But yeah, again, like, my main thing was the losing your save progress, though, is kind of a killer. It's just disheartening. And I think everybody's been there before. But again, the fact that I know they're going to implement, or they announced it on the forums in Steam, so I assume that's still the case. They didn't mention it in the email they sent to me, but I will come back to this game when it has Iron Man. And a lot of the problems I had was the mistaken assumption I made, where a roguelike or a roguelite, or a game with Iron Man mode, it really is, you can't save except when you quit, because otherwise it's not Iron Man, is it? If you save in the middle of the game or whatnot. And, it does autosave every 10 days, but, in my case, yeah, I guess the point there I should make, too, is I think that's responding to something I said, well, what if I've been playing for like 6 or 8 hours and I lost all that? Which, obviously, probably you're not going to lose 6 to 8 hours of gameplay, because it is autosaving every 10 days, right? Unless you're playing really, really, really slowly, like you pause the game and go out and get a mocha or something. But even then, you shouldn't have lost that much actual progress. So that's a very fair, what should I call it? That's something that should be pointed out, is that it's not that suicidal, or I mean, it's not that serious a problem. For me, it was just frustrating. And again, like I said, I don't want to fuss with save games, especially if I'm going to play this in an Iron Man mentality, or in a rogue light mentality. But again, that's not really the point. It's not really to relitigate the argument or anything. I think my point was a very small one. It did drive me to frustration, which you can definitely hear in my video. I get frustrated easily sometimes too, though.
George is getting upset!
But again, let me get back to what I really wanted to talk about, which was just thank you very much to the developers and their representatives that were watching my series, which I had no idea. And there's not a big audience on my channel for this game. And also to the prompt response and feedback. I think it shows a lot of commitment to the game. I think this game has a lot of great potential going for it, and just in the obvious rapid response of the developer. These people are for real, and I really want to support developers who give a damn. It's certainly not a huge return on their investment time-wise to, bother to write me, not just one, they wrote me back a second email as well in response. That's not a huge return on investment for them, except that I don't know, maybe it is though, because now like I am making this video and I'm here to tell you that I think this is a developer that really deserves attention and support. And yeah, I probably ought to go on my Twitter, and I have 3 Twitter followers, so what does that matter? But you know, I've talked about the developers for Thea: The Awakening, and I talk about them on Steam a lot too, as being people who I think should be supported, as opposed to, you know, developers who I think they're not bad people, but I question their work ethic, such as you know, the boondoggle of you know, piecemeal pay for us to fix the game DLC that is Stellaris, or, you know, like easily avoidable, just, you know, WTF decisions on releasing too early, like games like Planar Conquest, which I like that game a lot, by the way. I really want to cover it on the channel, but I'm waiting for them to do at least just one more patch, please, guys. Just one more, just make the game a little bit better, please. Anyway, any developer that I think is paying attention to even such small channels, and well, size of channel or not, that doesn't even matter. Just the fact that they take the time to respond to criticism, I think bodes really well. I know that there's other developers I've seen do that on other people's channels, and I appreciate it when YouTubers and Let's Players mention that. Like, I watch Wanderbots, and he talks about when he has issues with a game or questions with a game, and, you know, he mentions when developers get back in touch with him and talk to him, and I think that's very important. And yeah, I just wanted to make another follow-up video. I'm sorry this is very boring to watch as far as gameplay goes, and that's just because at the moment I'm still... right now what I'm doing is I'm just looking at what my other alternatives are here. Massive Damage, yeah, if any of you guys are still watching, I really appreciate the follow-up. Oh, and I see it's no longer... Okay, I was wondering what that update was yesterday. It didn't have an announcement that I noticed. So the version is still the same, but it's no longer the beta public thing. So yeah, I wanted to come in and try to, you know, mitigate some of my negativity from yesterday. Just say that, you know, I still am interested in this game. I still like it. I am just, honestly, I'm just waiting for the, is it available yet even? If there's going to be an Ironman mode, I definitely want to wait for that to come back to the game. So, and then, you know, especially if I can, excuse me, especially if with the advent of the Ironman mode, it does mean that it will save when I quit. Then yeah, I'll just be grateful for that. And as far as like the design, I know that they're like saying they mentioned in their mail that in their email to me that they're looking into you know, giving a warning at least on the quit, which I think would be fair. I mean, yeah, just quit game, or, you know, yeah, I think that was probably part of it too. Is even in games where I'm pretty sure that it saves when I quit, like when it asks you're going to quit without saving, your progress will be like, doesn't FTL do that or something? I can't remember. No, surely not. Does it? It's been so long since I played FTL. I know Starcrawlers does, and I know that only because Starcrawlers is the other game. One of the games kind of like this, similar in that it's kind of an RPG, JRPG-ish, or computer role-playing game, maybe is what Starcrawlers calls itself. CRPG. And so that's just what I'm comparing it to. But yeah, I think something as simple as that's probably the easiest fix. And then, you know, obviously I think it would have been, I think it's very clearly would have been an ID10T error if if that message had been present. Then I don't think I'd have any room to gripe about what happened. But as a game player, and you know, expectations are built upon the experiences we have from other games, not just in a vacuum. In a vacuum, I think, you know, it's very fair for them to say, well, there's a save game button right here, dumbass, just push it. You know, that should be obvious. You know, quit the game means you quit. Saving the game means you saved it. It doesn't say quit and save game, does it? But that's perfectly fair, and that's exactly what they could have said to me. That would have been a reasonable response. It would have been, you know, I would have been a little disappointed with that kind of response, because again, I think it ignores that kind of response, although perfectly justified logically. Ignores the reality that, you know, the reason why I would make that assumption is just because of the experience I have from other games that do that sort of thing, and other games, you know, our experiences in the past set up our expectations of behavior in the future. And, you know, justified or non-justified, that's just the way the human brain works, and it's certainly the way my brain works. And, you know, I guess I'll apologize for having a human brain, I guess. But, and certainly I think smarter people than me, or more careful people than me, would have been like, well, I'll just save just in case, you know, which I did not. So, yes, I definitely will own that. Again, I just feel, you know, personally a little bit obligated to follow up and make that mention, and make a shout out to, you know, the developers, that I really appreciate them reaching out. They've certainly got a loyal fan in me, you know, regardless of however much I may complain about things like, you know, the windows not being transparent or whatever I may nitpick about the game. I really think you guys are doing a great job, and yeah, I'm really touched that you emailed me, and that you guys are taking your game seriously. Is something I think people should be aware of, and you know, I hope any of my viewers who watch this video will, if they're on the fence, you know, one of the best things I can say is, well, you know, if you buy the game and you don't like it, you can at least feel secure in that you're supporting developers who you're supporting the kind of you are supporting the kind of game development. I'm sorry, I can't speak. You're supporting the kind of game development community that needs to be supported, as opposed to the game developers who are more cynical and are not, I don't know, who really, quite frankly, should probably be doing other jobs. You know, I believe very strongly that game development should be left to people who really care about what they're doing. Thanks for watching, and please check out the game. Bye-bye.